It's 4 o'clock in the morning here in Malawi, and I just could not sleep. I woke up just to go to, I thought maybe the bathroom or something, but what was in my mind and heart wouldn't leave. The question that came to me that I need to share with you this morning is after God created everything that God wanted to create, he then said, let us make man and in his own image. And that was the sixth day. And the seventh day, God rested. The question that came to me early this morning is, where did God go to rest? Where was the resting place for God? We know, and we've already talked about, where was God before God created heaven. And we realized God didn't need heaven for God. God was beyond heaven. Before there was a heaven, there was God. But the sixth day, he created human beings, man and woman. And the seventh day, he rested. The question is, where did God go to rest? And it came to me, God would want to rest in the actual finishing point of God's creation. And that was in human beings that God had created. That was a powerful moment for me. God didn't leave and go somewhere up on a mountain somewhere and lay down his head on a solid rock from which I stand. He went in his creation. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use the word his, because God is beyond a he and a she. But God went into God's creation, all of the creation that God had created. So what is the most incredible creation that God is most proud of and want to be in? And that is man and woman. So God's resting place, listen to this, God's resting place for the seventh day that represents seven, which is, we know that it was more than 24 hours, but nevertheless, the seventh day, God rested. Where did he rest? He rested in his creation, which is human beings. So God is in us. God went into Adam and Eve, and that's the place when it's all done. Think about this. Whatever you build, if you're building a car, a house, a bicycle, you want to get in it and ride it. You want to live in your house, don't you? You don't want to build it and then just walk around admiring, oh, it's a wonderful, beautiful place, but you never go in it. You never live in it. Where would God rest? Where would God live? In us. That's amazing. I mean, think about it. Now here's the problem. God cannot change God's principle. God, the only example that I can give you is like gravity. When you let something go, it falls. Because there's a principle, there's a divine principle that's called gravity, and it doesn't care how you feel. If you let it go, it's going to drop. Because it's a principle. And that principle will never change. God's characteristic is in the laws of God's creation. Thus, where would God go? He would go in God's creation, which is the most highest level of creation, is mankind. Here's a problem. You and I can change our minds and do good or evil. We have a choice. guess what? God doesn't have a choice to do evil or good. God can't do evil. God only can do good. God can't change God's principles. The principles are what they are. And God, 100% characteristic is in God's principles. Think about that. Think about that for a moment. Let it percolate in your heart and mind. And I wanted to stay there for a minute because if God is in us, God can't change God's mind. God cannot do wrong. God can't lie. God can't cheat. God can't steal. And God cannot stop doing what God does as God. But we can. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? That makes us, in one sense, greater than God. Because we can change our mind and not follow God and not do what the principle says. We can go and jump off of a building if we want to and just defy gravity. I don't like gravity. I hate gravity. You go run and jump off a building and kill ourselves. Because we can go against the power of gravity. But God is still in the gravity and can't change. Even if you want to jump off, even though God made gravity for our safety and for our good, but if you want to violate that and jump off of a building and kill yourself, guess what? Gravity, the God in gravity can't stop you. Isn't that interesting? In the principle, we call that emotion, will, and intellect. God's love changes things. We have the capacity to love, and that's the reason we can change. We are flexible. We can move because you have to have that level of freedom. Even though we have that divine principle, it's like a rod. It doesn't change. It's straight up. It's always going to be vertical. It's never going to change. But we have the ability to be horizontal and go up and down, in and out, and change because we have the ability to change our minds. It's interesting, isn't it? Where did God go when God rested? He went into us. So guess what? God is trapped in us. God, because once God does what God does, it doesn't change. So even though we're doing evil, God is still in us, giving us life, giving us joy, giving us hope, giving us grace, giving us mercy inside of this human beings who can change their mind and even hate God, even hate the very thing that's given us life. And God is still there. Anyway, think about that. Where did God go? Where did God go on the seventh day that he rested? He rested